Meeting is being recorded. Okie dokie. Well, we're going to be talking about anti-aging today, and a lot of people say that their folks were that way, their grandparents were that way. They're gonna. I had a friend that said his folks died early. He was going to die early, and consequently, when he had some fainting spells, he wouldn't go to the doctor, and yeah, he ended up dying early. He didn't have to. Autopsy showed all he needed was some stents. So that's too bad. But that's kind of the way it goes sometimes. But genes are not your destiny. True longevity and early death do run in families, but also lifestyle choices make a big difference. And we actually have greater control over our health and longevity than most people believe. And Dr. A says that we have about 70% of our how healthy we are depends on what we do, rather than your genes in the family. And here's a little bit of proof on that: genes, environment, and childhood obesity. Now, they say obesity certainly seems to be inherited, but there are indicators that osogenic environment may also play a role, because they found out in surveys that early childhood obesity and weight gains are reduced 60% in less osogenic households. Am I pronouncing that word right, Bill?
Obesogenic.
Thank you.
It's okay.
I knew it was something like that. I've heard Dr. Ray say it a million times. It's one of those things that no matter how many times I say it, I still spit it out wrong. So
it looks like one of those words, Fred, that's just a made-up word that somebody had to come up with something, and so they made it up.
I really think Dr. A came up with it. I really do.
Yeah.
We're going to get down to the cellular level, and less than that, we're going to talk about the telomere effect. And telomeres, what they are is the ends, little red ends here, or pink ends down that picture. I don't know if they know what color they really are, but it's the ends of chromosomes. It protects the chromosomes. The chromosomes are in the nucleus of the cell. Inside the chromosomes, your DNA. So it's pretty important that the chromosomes be protected. And that's what the telomere effect is. The telomeres are little protective ends on the chromosomes. Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn of the Salk Institute studied the link between telomere length and longevity. And they gave her an award, Nobel Prize Award, for her work. Now, I took a video that she did on TED, and I posted it on the Habits of Health Lifestyle Hutchinson Facebook group. I just posted it there a while ago, so you can see what she's got to say about that. Now, telomeres, each time that the chromosome splits, the copy becomes a little less. You notice down here that the end becomes shorter and shorter, and then it gets to a point where when a cell is copied or a chromosome is copied, it doesn't quite copy it right, and that's when you start getting diseases and start aging. This is the aging process. Telomeres shorten as we age, but it also shorten with poor diet, obesity, smoking, lack of exercise, stress, and poor sleep. So all those things that we talk about all the time, those are things that shorten the telomeres on the chromosomes, and that ages the cells. Can they be lengthened? Because if they're getting shorter, you kind of want to lengthen them a little bit so you can live longer. And the answer is yes, you can. And it's called telomerase. And what that is, it's a protein that when you do the right things, it'll actually add they got a bunch of letters in there, a sequence to the end of that telomere to lengthen it. and that's what it's called. So if you're inactively and not doing anything that's healthy, then that telomere is going to get shorter. But if you're doing things positively, you can actually add to it. So what lengthens the telomeres? Probably things you've never heard about before in here in this thing for 8 years or longer. Healthy diet and weight, movement and exercise, stress reduction and meditation, adequate sleep, healthy relationships and active social life. And gosh, you've never heard anything like that before, but sounds like Dr. A was on the right path. Yes, it does. And food, diet, and telomeres, what goes on there? The lower your BMI is, but not below 19. Below 19 is unhealthy. It makes them longer. Whole grains and high fibers makes them longer. Avoid the refined grains. Nuts, seeds, and beans makes them longer. Other things that does that adds to it is your fresh vegetables, especially leafy green and tomatoes, berries, citrus, apples, plums, plant products, especially soy. Bill likes this one, I would say. Avoid red meat and processed meats, and green tea. So all these things can add to your lifespan by increasing the length of your telomeres. And something ideal for this is the 3 and 3 maintenance program. And if you have any questions on that, you can get together with your health coach and they can answer any questions you might have on the 3 and 3. Movement and exercise and telomeres. Less setting. Maximize your NEAT points. Your NEAT points is your non-exercise activity thrombosis versus your exercises. The EAT ones are the exercise activity thrombosis where you actually go out to a gym or something, or go out and run, something that you're doing intentionally. The NEAT exercise is something that you do just to add a little bit of movement to your day, like parking a long ways from the store, using the stairs instead of the elevator or the escalator, things like that. They say that 45 minutes 3 times weekly works really good for you, but they have found out that marathon runners gain no additional benefit from benefit. In other words, they're doing too much, and so that doesn't add to the length of the telomeres. Ultra marathons may be even shorter. So the best kind is your aerobics and resistive. In other words, weights or resistance of some sort. That's the best ones. And do it persistently. Regular exercise. Regular exercise over a lifetime, they figure, can increase your lifespan by 9 years or so. That's pretty huge. And stress reduction in telomeres. Stress is really important. Get out of unhealthy relationships, that lengthen them. Attitude awareness is key. Mindfulness. We always talk about mindfulness in here because you really got to be mindful to really stay on top of your program. You got to know how your body feels, and you got to know what you want for a goal. What do you want your goal, and how soon do you want it, and what steps you got to take to get there. Meditation and yoga are really good. And of course, I throw in a little bit of Tai Chi here, and a little bit of 15 minutes daily can really help lengthen your telomeres. Multiple types show benefits. So if you do different things, do a little yoga, do a little Tai Chi, work on meditation, that type of thing. And it reducing in inflammation markers. We talk about inflammation markers a lot, and that's where the first domino that falls is the inflammation caused by the insulin pump kicks in, and then causes the blood cells. I mean, the blood that's in the blood sugars to go in, be stored as fat, and that's what causes the inflammation. But that's what causes all the different diseases, and that works right along with the telomeres, you see. And this is the Scream by Munch. It's kind of a famous painting. You've most likely seen it, unless you're living under a rock. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that out loud. Anybody still there?
Yep, we're all still here.
Oh, okay.
Go back to that painting, Fred.
Okay. You got it.
Now, everybody sees a man holding his head, but it looks like a dog face to a lot of people. Big long ears.
Oh, yeah.
You'll never look at it the same again.
Huh.
Sorry, Fred.
Oh, that didn't bother me. I don't see any dog, but that's okay. Somebody might. Okay. But anyhow, sleep and telomeres. The more sleep that you get, the seems the better it works. Between 7 and 8 hours is optimal, and that would put you over here in the very good section where you're going to be adding more telomeres to your length. Sleep quality is also important, and this is, I always talk about sleep as being, it's not something you do passively. You actually do it actively. You actually have to kind of work at getting some good sleep. Turn off the cell phone, computer 30 minutes prior. Proper sleep hygiene. Take a shower, bath before you go to bed. No watching TV or reading in bed, and keep the room darkened. Very, very important. Social life and telomeres. Healthy relationships is very important. Active social life. Sense of community and purpose. So those are some of the important things. Now, you have great control over your longevity through a healthy Optavia lifestyle. And but Dr. Blackburn warns us of one thing. She says, do it naturally. In other words, do it with natural foods and this type of thing, and exercise and the things that we discussed here, and not to be using the things that you can get online, or that somebody might be trying to sell you pseudoscience products. The best thing is to do the real thing. These things might be questionable, is what she's saying. Now here's a short little video by our Dr. Berg.
How does one increase their telomere length and live longer? All right, so let me just give you a little background first, okay? In your cells, you have the center part, which is the nuclei, okay? Inside the nucleus, you have your DNA, and that DNA is bundled within structures called chromosomes. And the chromosomes carry the genetic information in the form of genes. All right, so what is a telomere? The Greek word for telomere is broken down into two parts. We have telos, which means end, and meros, which means part. It's the end part. If we take a look at a shoestring, that's what a telomere is. It's a little plastic protective mechanism at the end of your chromosome, because the shorter it gets, the faster you age and the more diseases you get. As our cells divide, our chromosomes need to replicate, because we need this complete set. And every time they replicate or divide, these telomeres get shorter and shorter and shorter. And many scientists claim that the shorter the telomeres, the faster you age and develop more diseases. But there are epigenetic factors that can help you and even hurt you. Now, epigenetics is about what's above genes, what controls your genetics, because you're not limited to your genes. There are environmental things, there's foods, there's herbs, there's things that you can do and avoid that can greatly affect your telomeres and your age. All right, are you ready? Okay, here are the things that hurt your telomeres. Poor diet. I'm talking about sugar, refined foods, etc. Obesity. Surprise. Lack of exercise, lack of sleep, stress, smoking, alcohol, and pollution. Probably know of people that actually fit every single one of those things, and usually they don't live too long. So now, what are the epigenetic factors that help increase the telomere length? Omega-3 fatty acids. There's an interesting video that I did on omega-3 fatty acids that reveals some data in a study that shows that you can extend your life by 5 years by consuming regular foods that are high in omega-3 fatty acids. That's the fatty fish, like the salmon, the cod oil, it's the sardines. All right, number 2, astragalus. This is an adrenal adaptogen, something that helps you counter stress. Next one, Gouda cola. I did a video on this. I'll put a link down below. All right, next one is green tea. Now, green tea is good for just about everything. Next one, curcumin. Then we get vitamin D, which is good for about everything as well. And foods that are high in zinc, oysters, clams, shellfish. And then we get exercise, regular, consistent exercise, of course, with good recovery, right? That includes the next one, sleep. If you have chronic insomnia, that is a huge thing that can hurt you with these telomeres. Okay, keep your stress on the low side. And last one is something that's probably going to really surprise you, consuming a healthy diet. And if you're new to my channel, I put the link down below of exactly what I'm talking about when I say healthy diet. All right, thanks for watching.
Hey, before you go,
So this is the video you've been waiting for. How
Okay, I'm catching up with it now. Now here's something interesting. Seventh-day Adventist, Christian denomination. They encourage regular exercise. They profess vegetarianism, refrain from smoking and alcohol, and they have an average lifespan of 88 years. That's about eight years longer than the average U.S. citizen. That's interesting.
Huh.
How about
Huh.
Ah,
People do not decide their futures. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their futures.
I love that.
Yep, that's a good one. And there's just a beautiful picture I thought I would share with you. I've seen that. That's actually Salt Lake. Can you imagine? A buffalo out to Salt Lake never occurred to me.
It's beautiful.
And there's another pretty one. I just love that sunset. So. Any questions?
Fine job, Fred. You always do such good work for us. Thanks.